Had I participated, had I volunteered for something, it would have been extremely beneficial for me in the future. When I left the stage that year, I left the stage with regret. This is what happens when you ramble on too much about one of the questions. To talk about them, you're not going to be able to talk about them in a constructive way that will not alienate people. Right. So you really have to prioritize what you want to do, and you have to draw those lines in the sand. I don't want to just be a talking head where I just list out facts and it's 7 minutes of me just talking. If you do not specify it, you are guaranteed to intensify it.
Hello friends, my name is Haritosh Srivastav and I'm so excited to have my next guest, who is none other than Toastmasters World Champion of Public Speaking 2019, Aaraon W. Beverly. I was so humbled when he accepted my request to be interviewed so gracefully. Aaraon has been a Toastmaster for a few years, and I am a fan of his speaking since 2016 when he came up second in the championship with a 57-word long title and a really touching speech. Now, we have heard feedback from all of you that the videos are a little longer for you. So what I'm going to do is we are going to have short video series. So our Aaron's interview would be in 3 parts. Now in this first video, he is going to talk about his background, his introduction to Toastmaster, how he was astonished by his mentor, and why he thinks public speaking is valuable for you. So stay tuned till the end of this video. If you like the video, please click on the like button and don't forget to subscribe. So over to the interview of Aaraon W.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, people who is going to watch this video. I can't express how excited I am to have this next guest, and I'm pretty sure when you know about him, you will be as excited as I am. My next guest for my interview, inspirational interview, is Aaraon Beverly, the 2009 World Champion of Public Speaking. Thank you so much, Aaraon, for joining me in this interview.
No, thank you for having me.
Okay. You may or may not know, I've been a fan of you since 2016. In 2016, I joined Toastmaster, and that was the year when you came second, and I was blown away with your speech. Throughout this interview, I'll probably ask you a few questions, and I'm pretty sure your question will amaze all of us. I can't thank you enough for joining me this, so thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you. Let me start by asking you about your journey, where your upbringing was, what are kind of things you have done. Some of our audience is going to be non-Toastmasters, so it's good if we give them a context about your journey.
Yeah, absolutely. I started speaking when I was really young because my mother forced me to get on multiple stages throughout my life. I hated public speaking. I wanted nothing to do with public speaking because I was a very shy kid. I was definitely an introvert growing up. I'm still an introvert now. I wanted absolutely nothing to do with public speaking. I did not want to be in the spotlight. I was always a person who would rather stand in the background, just not be noticed, because that was more comfortable for me. It wasn't until I got to college where I really started to understand what public speaking was. And that came because I ran into a person who was once the president of the Toastmasters International Organization. And for people who may not know, Toastmasters is an organization that is all around the world. There are over 30, or actually, or more than about, I think the quote is about 300,000 members worldwide. It's in over 100 countries around the world. The goal of Toastmasters is to help people improve their communication skills as well as their leadership skills, provides them a safe place to practice those skills. My first introduction to Toastmasters was because of this past president of Toastmasters International. His name is Dileep Abayasekara. He was the president of Toastmasters in 2005 to 2006. I remember hearing him speak for the first time, and the students in his class, we just told him, oh, give a speech about a pen. We're just trying to find any random object because surely he cannot find a way to make a memorable speech about something as basic as a pen.
Mm-hmm.
And he went into this inspirational speech about how our life is like the pen and the world is our canvas. And we just remember after hearing him speak, we were just sitting there and saying, wow. So I wanted to have that ability to be able to speak so eloquently.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until 2009, though, that I really wanted to get involved in public speaking. And I would say the straw that broke the camel's back was watching then at that time President Barack Obama, who before then was candidate Barack Obama for the US presidency.
Right.
I saw him on the campaign trail. I saw his ability to speak to people. I saw his ability to motivate people. And I wanted to have that ability.
Mm-hmm.
That's what made me join Toastmasters. I joined Toastmasters in May of 2009, and I have not looked back since.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you so much talking about your journey in Toastmasters. And yeah, we all know about Barack Obama. Even though I was in India, yes, we can. Everybody knows about that speech. Yes, we can. So thank you. I also wanted to ask you about your day job. I believe you are a project manager. You want to give any background about that?
Correct. I am a project manager. I work for JP Morgan Chase. I've worked at JP Morgan now for going on 10 years now. My role as a project manager is a role that I'm constantly using my communication skills that I've learned over the years. In project management, it is really relationship management. You really have to think about how you engage with different people at different levels.
Mm-hmm.
You have to truly know who your audience is, whether you're speaking to a group of senior leaders in your organization.
Right.
If you're speaking to them, you know you have to speak at a more high level. You can't get too detailed with your replies and your information because they're not the ones on the ground doing the groundwork.
Mm-hmm.
If you're speaking to your peers, then it's not going to be advantageous to speak at a high level because they're more interested in the details, the more granular details, because they are the ones doing the groundwork.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else falls in an area in between. As a communicator, you have to know how to communicate with those different people. In addition to that, there's just a lot of other things that I learned through my skills or through my learnings at Toastmasters, where I learned how to organize a meeting. I learned how to facilitate the meeting. I learned how to take questions. I learned how to think on the spot when I received a question. These were different skills that I learned with my Toastmasters education. I also have my job because of an underrated skill in public speaking. A lot of people just look at public speaking as me being on a stage, speaking in front of a large audience, but that's not all public speaking is. You have to really expand your knowledge of what public speaking is.
Right.
Public speaking is a phone conversation. Public speaking is a one-on-one conversation. Public speaking is an interview like this one. It's a meeting that you have to facilitate. Public speaking is very broad, and one of the most underrated parts of public speaking is networking.
Yeah.
People assume that networking is all about taking something from somebody else or having somebody give you something.
Yeah.
But that's not networking. To me, the true definition of networking is when you are communicating your value to someone else. So learning how to communicate your value to someone else, that is networking, because if you're communicating your value to someone else, they're going to want to know how they can get value from you. And if you do that, if you provide true value, then you'll find that you'll get something in return yourself. But it all starts with you communicating the value that you can bring to someone else, not what somebody can give you.
Thank you so much, Aaron. This was really good. I was going through the project management training, and one of the profound things that they said that as a project manager, 90% of your job is communication. So it's very imperative that you know how to communicate, what to communicate, and who to communicate. And I agree that any time you are speaking more than one person, so unless you are speaking to yourself, it's probably is not good for your health all the time. It is a public speaking. So thank you.